What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check update and third stimulus package update. In this video, I want to address all your frequently asked questions so that we're on the same page, and we're going to talk a lot about all the different stimulus programs and money that you may have already been expecting and money that will be coming up, as well as when to expect the $1,400 third stimulus check, the $3,000 to $3,600 child stimulus checks, as well as when they're going to vote on it in the Senate. I'm going to give you all the details of it in this video. This will be a good one because we're going to cover a lot of different programs, a lot of which may apply to you or a family member or anything like this. So you might want to share this video with them because we're just going to basically be going through lots of information very quickly for you and get you a lot of answers. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos on the third stimulus check and the next stimulus package coming after that. And hit the like button for us, and let's jump right in. Okay, first up, let's talk about the $200 Medicare drug discount cards or debit cards that at the time President Donald Trump proposed and said that they will happen. Well, it seems like this plan may have died with former President Donald Trump's presidency, as it does not seem like this will be going through now that he is no longer president. If you remember, former President Donald Trump proposed this and said that he was going to pass this. It was about $8 billion. This was late in December, if I remember correctly, and he probably would have passed this in his new presidency, but as you know, he didn't win. So, and the latest information I have on all this is it looks like this will not be going through. So, yeah. Next up, let's briefly talk about the California stimulus check. This is for low-income earners in California. I think there's almost like 6 million people that are going to qualify for this. This is a $600 stimulus check just from California. We have other states coming out with checks like this too, such as Maryland, who just came out with a $300 and a $500 stimulus check in the state of Maryland. And we will be having more states like this that will be coming with additional stimulus checks on the state level that you may or may not qualify for, as well as mortgage and rental assistance on the state level also, because states are getting $350 billion with a B from the third, like Mitch with an M, but billion with the B, right? Yeah, or reverse that. The states are getting $350 billion, and we'll be doing more of these programs like this, where they send out stimulus checks to you on the state and county level, as well as mortgage and rental assistance on the county level. So if you live in California, here's how you receive the stimulus check. This will go out to about 5.7 million payments to low-income Californians, $600 stimulus checks. Those who qualify for the earned income tax credit on your 2020 tax returns. So you need to do your 2020 tax returns for if you're in California, and you need to qualify for the state's earned income tax credit. Typically, this is for those with annual incomes below $30,000. And last year, there was about 4 million people that qualified for this, for the credits. But in this case, you get the credits plus the $600 stimulus checks. Those who are qualified and file their 2020 tax returns and are set up with direct deposit will receive the money in about 45 days direct deposited to you. Those that do not have direct deposit will receive a paper check in the mail within 60 days. As always, when you're doing your tax returns, if you set them up via direct deposit to get your refunds and your stimulus checks, you will always get them quicker and pretty much safer, as it can't be lost in the mail, and you will get your money faster. So keep that in mind when you're going to file your 2020 tax returns that are due, by April 15th. Next up, what do you do if you haven't received your second stimulus check, the $600 one, not from California, but from just the federal government, the big second stimulus check, the $600? Well, if you haven't received it at this point, it's pretty safe to say that there was a problem with your account and they can't send it to you. So probably because you moved or you changed bank accounts, or you're not eligible or something along those lines. So the easiest way to do this at this point is to file your 2020 tax returns. And I believe it's on line 32 on your tax returns. You will claim the income tax credit and basically get an additional $600 stimulus check in your tax refund. So if you were due a $1,000 tax refund, you will now get $1,600 from your tax return for 2020. So just keep that in mind. I don't believe that people are still getting their second stimulus checks in the mail, but let me know if you received your $600 second stimulus check via direct deposit or mail within like the last week or so. Let me know, let our viewers know down below in the comments what day you received it. And this will kind of give everybody an idea if they're still going out or the last ones that people kind of received. They sent out a second batch of these from President Biden's executive order. They originally caught off at January 15th, and there was like millions and millions of people that hadn't gotten them yet. And President Biden signed an executive order to resend these out so that millions more people would still get it and not have to wait for their tax return. But if you haven't got it at this point yet, it's pretty safe to say you need to file your tax returns to get it, and then you'll get it in your tax return as a tax refund or tax rebate or something like that. If you owe taxes to the IRS, you'll owe less. You'll owe $600 less to them when you file your 2020 tax returns. Next up, when are we expecting student loan forgiveness? Well, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and a whole slew of Democrats are pushing President Biden to do $50,000 of student loan forgiveness. President Biden himself has said that he is willing to do $10,000 minimum of student loan forgiveness. So this is probably something that is going to happen. It's not in the third stimulus check package. This will likely come as a standalone bill right after, or as a presidential executive order. Chuck Schumer, who's the Senate Majority Leader, you would think he would know what he's talking about when it comes to the law. He says that President Biden can do a student loan forgiveness simply through a presidential executive order. The reason for this is because mostly the Treasury or the IRS will not be printing new money. They're simply forgiving the student loans that are on the books. So there might be some details and qualifications and all sorts of details and things what kind of loans you have and all sorts of stuff that we don't have yet. Okay, this will become probably a very big deal right after they pass the third stimulus check. 1 in 6 American adults have student loans, so I'm expecting at least $10,000 of student loan forgiveness. Biden said he doesn't want to go to $50,000, but Chuck Schumer, AOC, Elizabeth Warren, and a whole bunch of other Democrats are pushing him to do that. So you never know. We might see 10,000, we might see 25,000, and honestly, this opens the door. This opens the Pandora's box for other things similar to this, because a few years ago, student loan forgiveness was a complete fairy tale. And literally, if you go look up Google articles from a few years ago, people would laugh at you for this to happen. But President Biden himself, if you've been watching this channel, you've seen several of my clippets of him personally saying he's willing to do $10,000 of student loan forgiveness. So a few years ago, this was a fairy tale that could have never happened. Now it's probably going to be a reality after this third stimulus check package through an executive order, a standalone bill, or possibly through the infrastructure bill, which is the next stimulus package that's already been announced after this, that will be between $2 and $3 trillion. But like I said, this opens the door, this opens the Pandora box to other things that could happen in the future. Because if they can forgive $10,000 of student loan debt, could they also forgive credit card debt? Could they also forgive mortgage debt? Again, if we go back a few years ago, that kind of wasn't a possibility. But now that they're willing to do $10,000 or more of student loan debt, what if they do something like, yeah, $10,000 of student loan debt, but if you don't have student loans, for example, my wife, she's got I don't know if you could see it, she's got a college diploma up there from John Carroll University, a business degree, but she paid off her student loans at this point. So maybe if you don't have student loans, maybe there'll be something like, well, if you didn't get the student loan debt forgiveness, maybe you'll be eligible for a credit card debt forgiveness or for mortgage for debt forgiveness, $10,000 of one of those. And again, that's not really like being talked about now, but a lot of people are saying like, well, if you're going to do $10,000 in student loan debt forgiveness, what about people that don't have student loan debts? So that kind of opens up the realm of possibilities of all the things that will be set to come. And honestly, I expect after they pass the third stimulus check package, we're going to see a lot more rush of information of the student loan forgiveness as well as the possible Social Security increase that President Joe Biden wants. And both of these things are literally right here on joebiden.com, the Biden Emergency Action Plan to Save the Economy. We scroll down here and we see literally right here, he wants to forgive a minimum of $10,000 per person of student loans, as proposed by Senator Warren and colleagues. And he wants to also increase monthly Social Security checks by $200 per month, as proposed by Senator Wyden and and colleagues. He's also campaigned on this, as well as increasing Social Security by 20% for widows or widowers, 5% for people that have been on Social Security for over 20 years, and also to change the Social Security index so that your increases every year will be more and will go up more with the cost of living, and change the cost of living index to the positive. So both of these things are things that are probably going to become very popular and be talked about a lot after they pass the third stimulus check package. Honestly, right now, it's basically just all eyes, ears, and information, and everybody's focusing on the third stimulus check package. The impeachment done. They've passed the third stimulus check package in the U.S. House of Representatives. So basically, at this point, it's just like, hey, let's get to the finish line. Let's pass it through the Senate and have the president sign it and start getting you guys your checks out. Then they've already talked about the next stimulus package. It's already being worked on in the background, called the Build Back Better package, which is expected to be between $2 and $3 trillion. Honestly, the third stimulus check package is just the first one under the Biden administration. And I think that most people know that it's just the first one. It's not going to be the last one. The Build Back Better package has already been announced. They'll probably have to pass it with the reconciliation process because Republicans probably won't go for it, but it is what it is. Like, hey, let's pass them. Let's get help to the people, and let's go from there. Also, on mortgage and rental assistance, you can actually get your mortgage or rent paid for up to 12 months. In fact, like Indiana actually has $30,000 available for certain people in Indiana. This is available for all states. As you can see, Congress has approved $25 billion from the second stimulus check package. This is available for most areas right now. There's still a few areas, counties, and states that are kind of trying to still figure it out. You know, if you're in one of those states that kind of everything runs slow, you might be available in March. But basically, the majority of states right now have mortgage and rental assistance from the second stimulus check package, $25 billion. There's another $30 billion coming from the third stimulus check package that will also include mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, and utility assistance. There's also utility assistance available right now depending on your region. So the third stimulus check package is going to pass a whole nother round of this. This will also open it up to more people to be eligible, as well as some people will be able to get another round of it, a second round or third round even, possibly, depending on your state qualifications and your county qualification. Each state and each county is a little bit different. Get to that here in a second. Also, there's going to be a fourth round of this, and that is a little bit of what we talked about earlier, that $350 billion going to states and cities. They will use some of that money to pass state stimulus checks and statewide rental assistance programs, county-wide rental assistance programs, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, and property tax assistance, as well as stimulus checks. Like literally, we just see right now, California and Maryland literally passing them right now, and that's before they even get this new round of money. So there's going to be a lot of states and counties with, when they get $350 billion, that's a lot. That's, what is that, about $7 billion per state on average. Smaller states will get less, larger states will get more, because again, it's based on population. So we'll be seeing another round of that, so a third round and a fourth round, as well as state stimulus checks. I'll keep you up to date on all those when these programs open up and everything right now. So if you want to try to claim the second stimulus, rental assistance and mortgage assistance, easiest way to do this is to go to Google and search for your state rent assistance. So for example, Ohio rent assistance, Ohio COVID relief, Ohio COVID assistance, Ohio mortgage assistance. And you're going to want to basically go to your state websites and stuff like that. You can also search for your county, Summit County rental assistance, Summit County mortgage assistance. It'll take you a little bit of time. You can do that after this video. The other thing you can do is call the phone number 211, and that'll put you in touch with a local operator who, but my disclaimer on this is always, the operator may or may not know exactly what you're talking about. Just like when you call tech support. The other day I called tech support for my robot vacuum, and the first guy, I mean, he knew about the issue. It just stopped working, and he sent me a new battery, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's the battery, but whatever, send me a new battery. So he sent me a new battery, and then of course the problem was still there. It's a software problem. The thing wouldn't even run. So then I got on the phone with the other one and I'm like, all right, well, just send me a new one. It's under warranty. And they're like, well, let's try this other thing first. I'm like, okay. I talked to this one guy for like, an hour, but this other person talked to me on the phone and literally we redid the software and stuff and boom, it worked. So lo and behold, when you talk to this one person, they might not exactly know your problem. They might not know anything about what you're talking about. Then you can call again a day or two later and get somebody who is brilliant and knows exactly what you're talking about. And I hear this thing happens with mortgage and rental assistance too. Sometimes you call and they're like, what? Mortgage and rental assistance? We have no idea what you're talking about. And you just kind of be like, oh, okay. Thanks for your time. Call again in 2 days, 3 days. And also your program might just be opening up now. You may have mortgage and rental assistance that your state is just opening up right now. In fact, if you got mortgage or rental assistance recently, comment down below, comment what state you're in. Don't put any links because if you put a link, it'll go to the YouTube spam folder. So just, you can put a link, but like at the end, write /DOT /com instead of putting .com so your link doesn't go to the spam filter. So that'll help out a lot of our viewers. Remember, we're a big family here. We're helping each other out. I'm helping you guys get as much mortgage assistance and rental assistance as possible. Okay, on the third stimulus check, let's talk a little bit about that. You probably know the income qualifications right now. They're very similar to the first and second stimulus checks. Up to $75,000 will receive the full $1,400 stimulus check. For a single filer. Double that for a couple, so 150,000 and below gets the full check. And it goes for a single filer from 75 to 100,000 is a reduced check. After $100,000, no more check. Same thing for a couple, just double those amount. 150,000 and below goes up to 200,000 will get a reduced check. After $200,000, no check. Head of household single filers can go up to $112,500 for the full check, and we'll get a reduced check up to $150,000. After that, we'll receive no check. Children and college student dependents and adult dependents are included in this. $1,400 for each, which is by far the largest check for children, as well as the largest checks for adults. But they will be getting a check. It's based on the income qualifications of the dependent who claims them. And the children and the adult dependents and the college students get the check also. But again, it goes to the person who claims them. So if you have a 2-year-old son like us, the 2-year-old son doesn't get the check. It goes to the mom or dad who claims them, or the joint return who claims them. If you have a 17-year-old son, same thing. They're going to get a check this time around, but it's going to go to the person who claims them. Same thing with an adult dependent. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you're split parents, it's going to go to the person who claims them. So you have time to file your 2020 tax returns if you're going to do it really fast, because if the IRS checks your tax return in and you have to change your bank account or change who the dependent goes to, or you change banks or you change address, file your 2020 tax returns like ASAP. Get that in, get that filed. They'll likely go off your newest tax return incomes, especially if you made less last year and the year before you were maybe over the income limits by a little bit and you only got a reduced check or something, and you made less in 2020, you might want to file your tax returns right away so you get a larger stimulus check. But again, they have to receive your 2020 tax returns and process it, at least for the beginning portion of it, so that they have all that information on file. Okay, so just keep that in mind. When do we expect the, briefly, I'll say the child stimulus checks, the child income tax credits, that's $3,000, $3,600. That's in the package right now, but that program's going to kick in likely in July. They're going to pass it now, but instead of making you wait all the way to the end of next year or this year for next year's taxes, 2022, 2021, they're going to let you get it in monthly increments of $250 to $300 per month per child. So that will help out a lot of families in the United States. 54% of people in poverty with children will come out of poverty because of that. Okay, but I'll help you guys how to claim that when that becomes available, because there's probably going to be a process to go through to claim that. When do we expect the Senate to vote on and pass the third stimulus check package? It's been passed by the U.S. House of Representatives at this point and is now at the Senate. And while the reality of it is that we don't know the answer yet because the Senate has not told us that. Tomorrow's Monday. They literally could be voting on this tomorrow. But what they're trying to do right now, I'm seeing a lot of information different ways, is that they're trying to reword the $15 an hour minimum wage so that they can pass it. But then we got the problem of Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, two Democratic senators that don't want to vote for that. And if they don't want to vote for that, they need every vote from the Democrats to pass this bill. So what they'll have to do is they will have to either get them to agree to a lower minimum wage, such as $10 or $11 an hour by 2025, so still a 50% increase, or they may have to take it out. So if they figure this out, they could be voting on this as early as tomorrow. I fully expect them to vote on it this week. The real question will be how soon. Do they vote on a Monday? Do they vote on a Tuesday? Are they changing the wording? Are they taking the bill out? So those will be the interesting questions that we will be covering for you guys over the next 24 hours. So make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. Completely free to do so. Click the bell icon after you subscribe to get notifications. Click it to all notifications. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, also I'll mention child support and garnishment. If you owe child support, if you owe garnishments or taxes, the IRS says there's no garnishments at all for the third stimulus check. So if a person owes child support, they're going to get the third stimulus check. If you have debts that you owe to the IRS or something like that, you're still going to get the third stimulus check based on the wording in this package. If you have any other questions, comment them down below. Try to cover as much as I can. I know we kind of rapid fire through that, but we'll be getting more information about when we expect the Senate to vote on the $1,400 stimulus checks this week. So make sure you don't miss out on new videos. New videos come out at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.